Welcome to Innovate, presents Entrepreneurs in Tech. We're delighted to have our guest today, Alejandro Mandujano. Did I pronounce it right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I don't want to. I don't want to mispronounce any names. Who is the director of global operation at GBA, which pronounced Government Blockchain Association, or it stands for, I should say, excuse me, stands for Government Blockchain Association. And definitely, we're going to talk about blockchain and AI and how the world really going to transform to that. I know everybody thought it's a fade, but it's not a fade. It's happening, but it took time to everything connect together or unite together. Alejandro, thank you for joining us today. And could you please start by introducing yourself and providing us with some insights about your background and expertise, sir?
Okay. First of all, thanks for having me, and it's been great being part of the project. And well, let
My
me tell you,
pleasure.
my name is Alejandro Mandujano. I live in Mexico City. Uh, I'm a GBA Global Ops director, and my background is quite different because I'm maybe the only accountant that is also a systems engineer. I started with in Pricewaterhouse like 7 years ago, and I was invited to the. I'm specialized on information systems, so they invited me to a bank invited me to be part of, and I just accepted. And that's when everything goes nuts because then I discovered that the director, the CEO, wants me to be part of the responsible of all the things that involve information for him. That it means telecommunications, going to data centers and all that stuff. That it really turns me out because that's when I said, as an accountant, we need to do something more. So I keep on studying on systems now, on information systems.
This is where you started at Price Waterhouse
Yeah.
Kickstarter.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
that's where
Like,
you started your finance, tech, and
yes,
finance career. You're also an accountant too. That's right. You
yes.
said it.
I'm an accountant.
Amazing. So you combine finance with data, science, and technology together.
Yes.
You
And
know, yes.
yeah, and I just didn't have it into account that it was also infrastructure. So just
Hmm.
imagine an accountant dealing with infrastructure and energy and cabling and all that stuff and air conditioning. So it was a huge mess for me.
Working at Waterhouse Kickstarter, but it kind of helped you to start your career and
Yes.
give you uh, more clear vision of which path you want to take.
Yes, and life changes you the how it presents to you, and you have to grab the opportunities that are in front of you. So I just grabbed them because the most easy thing was in those times. Uh, I'm an accountant. I have nothing to do with systems. Right? So as a consultant in Project Waterhouse, you were used to you were trying to absorb all the different opportunities and just accomplish them,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
commit them and just solve them. So I just go to that part, and it all started for me, and I just shift. I have always the two hats of finance and the systems guy. So I just joined them and just made my company. In those days, it was RLE Tech, where
Hmm.
I founded it, and I started working for Banamex, and
Yeah,
therefore,
that's when you went. You worked for the bank card security project, correct?
yes,
Benamix. Yeah. So you
yeah,
handled securities and.
yeah, and I was in charge of the whole platform because I had to deal with Visa, Mastercard, and Switch, and the one that the name I don't forget the name of the with this of the issuer and acquirer side, and I have to handle the Switch. So it was a huge mess, and you have to integrate them and make it solid, and also integrate the standards, which
Hmm.
were not only Visa and Mastercard.
Alejandro, your both background in tech and finance is a very, how should I say, is a very hot thing because this is the infrastructure of every business and every company, Please.
No, no, I definitely, and when I in COVID, when I started just sitting alone and at home, just dealing with my kids and my wife and that stuff, I said, what can I do? So I started searching, and I just discovered that in the early '90s, where we have no standards, no communication standards. Everything was Nokia or even the 3Com for everything. Then you discover that when the industry just discovered that and got acknowledged that joining forces will be great. When they found TEIA, AEI, IEEE, Big C, and all those standards, Ashrai, and just got together, the market grew like 5,000% in 3 years, which is really a lot. It's a shift on the way the industry thought in those days. So I discovered that with blockchain, this was the next 1990s technology jump, because there are so many new technologies and new different ideas that are not being mined together. So everyone wants to, as the old guys, the old big company says, this is my solution. This is going to pervade the whole market, and I showed my mother that it's going to work for everyone. And what through that change, that things change differently.
Alejandro, what drove you to start your own company, RLE Tech?
Well, it was that there were no enough suppliers that understood the requirements of a bank. Having a bank, which is almost like a blockchain, because a bank needs to run in a yearly basis at 99.995% on time and real time and online, which is just as a blockchain. So there were not enough knowledge about that, so I have to just develop my own company. And I was authorized by the bank to develop my company and start giving them services. So
Wow. So you pretty much saw you saw the, how should I say, the flaws is there. You saw something missing. That's always a very entrepreneurial way to do it. When you see
yeah,
something missing and nobody have it, like, you know what, I'm going to do it and
yeah,
provide that service.
and there was a huge opportunity because the systems guys in the bank were only focused on those big mainframes and the cable one, the thing being cables, and all the different protocols which were
Hmm.
not useful anymore for networks. So I proposed that. I said, well, just build a company. So I just started that, and after that, I believe I made like 20 Banamex huge buildings and data centers, and it was really a huge opportunity for me. So the company grew, and then I started working with two of the big four uh, accounting buffets, which was
Which
not,
one?
which I was the old Arthur Anderson, and which then migrated to Deloitte,
Oh,
and I made all the offices in Mexico for Anderson and Arthur Anderson, and then I tried to do started with some doing some things with Deloitte. But in those days, my clients were IBM, HP, BMW, and all those big companies. So it was really a huge jump
and the company's still operating. You still run it. That's right.
no, I don't. I after the crisis of 2015,
Uh
I
huh.
have a partner in the States. So say I cannot keep on funding everything. So I just need to step down. So I sold my company to Steven,
Oh,
and he's based in Texas right now, and and I just moved to a different way. I say I need to stop that. It's like just saying goodbye to your son, because it's
wow.
that you build, but you have to identify the exact time to need to step
Well,
down.
I hope the acquisition that you made with your partner, it was at least worth the time that you spent there.
Well, I cannot complain. It was really good, and after that, I was just in my office, just sitting here, just playing my computer. Said, "What can I do?" And then something bring a friend just called me in. I need support to do something about containers. You do something about containers? No, I don't. So we start just playing around with containers. I said I have an opportunity to sell containers. Um,
You mean
crystal
shipping containers, the big metal shipping containers?
No, no, no. The I said the glass containers. for
Oh,
beverages. And they say,
oh,
I have an opportunity in Honduras. They want us to sell them 15,000 containers for wine. So I said, well, I have nothing to this. Just I will just help you. So we started just digging in, and we found out that there's a huge market. There was a huge market. There is.
wow.
There are two big players. There are three players in Mexico which are manufacturers. One is IO. It's IO. Well, I don't know. It was in those days were Vitro, and there was another company, two other companies, and there was a huge market. And we start just finding out. We invest like 5 months in make a real deep business plan. So we visit all the states and most of the commercial and manufacturers of any type of beverage or food container. And we
Interesting.
start just building that solution, and we just grew being the last one in the country. We were the fourth in vitro and the second one of video formas.
So after you sold your company, you exited out of it with a profit. You got involved in the glass container manufacturing or supply business
Yes,
from finance and tech.
yeah,
I got to get my head around it. And is that Amonco?
yes.
So Amonco became a supply chain for glass containers. You're talking about for beverages, the glass bottles.
yes.
Oh,
Yes,
interesting.
and
Wow.
marmalades and all that stuff. And then we discovered that there was a because there's a cycle of everything because it depends on the first
Uh-huh.
the food and then the weather. And so well, we cannot sell all the months the same amount of glass containers for beers, for example. So we found out that there was a huge market in recycling the glass containers. So we find a way.
Oh,
So we started researching, and we find out that there was a way in which we can just obtain the used containers, glass containers, and just wash them, cut them, and send it back to the
yeah.
manufacturer. In
Hmm.
that way, you reduce the amount of raw materials and reduce the temperature of the ovens. So and it's more profitable. So we started like selling them like 2 tons of cullet, and we end in a year just selling like 3,000 tons of to Vitro, which was the biggest manufacturer of glass containers in Mexico. It was a huge business, and then my partners didn't want to invest more, and we developed, for example, I developed a glass container for the how you say the I forgot the word. It's what you put in the what you light up in churches with I forgot the word. Something happened with my
It's
ah.
okay.
So
You
I,
can
I
describe.
I developed that one container. I just we got that the patent, and that container we sold in a year like 50 million containers
Wow.
because as Mexico is very like Christian oriented, they light up candles. I forgot the word. They're not the candles, and this container just grabs a huge candle, and they put just
Oh,
saying
so you mean a glass candle holders?
yes, yes, yes.
You designed your own and developed it and owned the patent on it.
So as it was successful, I wanted to build more and make more of this type of containers because one mold is like a $50,000 each just to
Wow.
get mold for the injection. And my partners didn't want to invest more. So if you don't invest more, either you buy me or I sell you. And guess what? They bought me, so it was out again, but with a profit. And and as I was the operations guy,
Wait a
well,
second. They didn't want to invest a couple of $100,000,
well,
but
it was like $250,000 because we need to buy. So we design so many glass containers that the market needs.
Okay, and they would rather buy you out, and I'm sure your share was way more worth more than fifty
Yeah,
thousand
yeah,
dollars.
yeah, and I can complain about that. And it was an extra time. So my wife told me, "Are you going to opt out again?" Well, yes, because things are not the way I want it, and I do. And if I'm going to invest something, it needs to grow in the future. So
Wow.
you need to follow the path. And once you
So you exited on your second company again with
uh,
this with a profit.
yes, again, and
Unbelievable.
and then it was it was on Friday. It was on Friday, and they my kids want a pizza, so I went to a pizza. Is not it's a local pizza that I've been seeing for almost 30 years. Let me see, since I was in high school, and I went there. So I was sitting there for just to be waiting. And an old guy, an old friend from high school, he just we both in there and said, "Can I sit here?" And we just start talking again. And he was in entertainment. So,
Okay.
so that's when I was part of another company of
Which
entertainment,
one? The Bander Group? Bander?
Bander.
What
So
does Bander Group does?
it's an entertainment. In those days, we were just representing artists. We record their material. We administer and manages venues. We even do concerts, and it was fun. And one of and it was a new thing because I was never in charge of a bar. So now that you understand how a bar works, it's very
Wait a
good.
second. So the Bander, was it a restaurant bar company or just representing artists to perform live?
No, it's a huge it's a integrated entertainment company,
Okay.
and it deals with artists and represent them. We make recordings. We get venues for making concerts. We make open concerts wherever in Mexico. It was a quite different
And
way.
what kind of artists we talking about? Independent artists or big artists from the States,
Oh,
only from Mexico, Latin America?
well, we had in those days like two or three international artists was a band group. Shoot, my memory is not good today.
Well, no. What's some of the biggest artists that you worked with or you represented
Well,
to do concerts?
we wanted to bring, for example, Elton John, and we want to bring him into Mexico, but the times and the economic situation in Mexico that was not working well, so we have to drop that down. We represent like different artists from Latin America. I'm not good with artists.
So you grew this company, Bander Group, with this old guy. You became a partner with him that you met at the pizza shop. And
And
did you?
then let me tell you, then strange things happened. And one, his brother went to live to the States. So we have lots of Latino first, and nobody's bringing Latin American food or drinks or beverage. So I just get in touch with the big brands in Mexico. Say, can we represent you in this fairs? And the market be ours for 3 years, and then you can just keep on just launching your products in the states. So that happened with big companies like Humex and La Costeña and even Bimbo. So we brought the product there, and then it was a huge opportunity because we start selling through locals in the states in fairs and also in concerts. So it was another revenue, and then we discovered that we can just bring our own products, for example, raw materials, and bring them too, like tortillas and chiles on peppers and that stuff. So it got us. The company then went in and 2 months ago, 2 months before that, it was in May. I think it was. We received a call from one of those prices in China. So things are going really weird here. We don't know what is happening, but people is getting ill. Because it happened in the H1N1 in the 2011. We closed for 9 months, and we can do that because we're entertainment. Because we have a lot of people running the
Yes.
venues.
Yes.
So we decided to close all the operations in December of 2019, and we just pay all we cancel all the contracts, and we just fire the people. We just cover all their indemnizations, and I was again doing nothing at home.
So what happened to the company? Did the company close or just was still open, the Banda Group
Well, the company closed in Mexico, and Manuel, my partner that I met
at the
in
pizza shop?
yeah,
Yeah. The older gentleman.
he went to Canada because one of his sons lives there,
Yeah.
and he started the company there. And now
Oh,
he
Banda.
yeah
Banda, a
and,
different company.
yes, and now he imports from Mexico all the raw materials and sells them to restaurants. And he now is creating a manufacturing plant for tortillas there. So it's a huge business. But I didn't want to invest there, and say I don't want to be in that part of the business.
So let's take it for a second here. So first, you you started your own company where you're providing a service for the banking system,
Yeah.
and you came up with, you saw something missing. It's like, okay, I'm going to provide that service, and you started work for the banks. Then you sold the company. Then you got involved in the glass, bottle container for beverages business, and you sold that business. And then Bander Group, which was started as a performers, to book tours and live performances for bands and artists, in Latin America or in Mexico and the States. And but this one got closed. You did not. How should I say? You did not end up exiting out of it, correct?
Well, we have money in the bank. So we say we have all these type of resources. What do we do? After paying all the expenses and closings and penalties,
Yeah.
we still have money. Well, we divided in two, and I just kept my money with a profit also. So it was less than with Amunco,
Sure.
but it
Yeah.
was a good one because I
Something
didn't.
you didn't expect. So, what was your third journey?
Well,
The fourth journey. I'm sorry. What was your fourth journey?
well, it was I was at home now with the COVID. It's just trying to find out something, and so I discovered blockchain. So I started asking about the standards, and there were no standards.
Yes, I would have to say that the crypto and blockchain business was booming during what do you call it? COVID. Booming.
Because, but there was a lot of scams and frauds and that stuff, and I was keep on thinking
Correct.
of what about the standards. So once I was in LinkedIn, just contacting people and asking them, I bumped with Gerard Deshe, which is the direct executive
With
director.
what?
Gerard Daché, which is the executive
Hmm.
director of GBA. And we started just connecting. I was asking him things, and he was answering, and we was back and forth communications. He said, "Why don't you just be part of GBA or be part of the standards group?" And as I am all the standards for me, is everything is standards because that's the only way that you can measure things. And I just got in and got in love. I mean, that's when I discovered that it's going to be the next 2021 story again of the standards. I how the
I-
industry is
i-
not booming.
i- Is that where the Red Pro blockchain,
But but
started?
but Red Bull blockchain is a small association of blockchain in Mexico, but they don't have the mood, they don't have
Hmm.
the objectives, the resources, and they don't want to invest either. So I just when I discovered Gerard, GBA said that's my place. So I started working with them, and let me tell you, it was one of the best decisions I've made because I started learning
Really
and interacting with so many people, and they say, "Hey guys,
interesting.
we have a blockchain and we have a standard," and I started working the last 2 years, 2.5 years in the standard, which is now the VMM. And the most important thing is that we integrate the realities of all the people in the world, because GBA is a worldwide organization. It has more than 450, no, 4,000 members throughout the world, plus members of the governments of 500 different government organizations in different parts of the world, different countries. So we present our realities and our problems, and we develop one reality of realities and one problem of problems. We try to solve them in standards. So that's the only way that we can cover the whole world. And I
Interesting.
like that. And I like that. And then we found out that we have everything is in English. Fortunately, 70% of the people in Latin America and even in areas that you won't believe, like Japan, they don't speak English, and they sometimes they don't like English like Japan. So we have to translate everything to the native languages. So I started as a project with Latin American Spanish, and even though in the
Yes.
area we speak Spanish, we have different way
Is
of.
that the Fab Latam?
Yes. Well,
Is that? Oh,
Fab Latam went after that because Fab
okay.
Latam is a fintech and blockchain association, and I just got to them until I was the global ops of GBA, and with the Spanish content, I said we have to develop that. So we translate all the standard into Spanish. That, by the way, is going to be launched next week in the website, and we have to integrate all the different chapters in the region, just to everyone understand what the Spanish is written for. And it was, for example, it was a Mexican Spanish, was quite different from the Spanish from Colombia or Peru or even Chile. So you have to eliminate all those adjectives that are not sound for everyone. That sometimes can be a fun thing or can be as uh,
Very
an
interesting.
yeah.
So now
And
you went back
yeah,
to technology and finance, and that's how you got involved with
yes,
blockchain. Your involvement.
yeah. And then we developed the standard in Spanish in Braille, which is a draft. Now let me try. Uh, this is the one. This is the one in Braille
Okay.
in Spanish.
GBA, Government Blockchain Association.
It's
Okay.
standard. It's a
Wow.
thick. And the idea is that we need to be we really want to be inclusive. And being inclusive is not only accepting everyone that depend without judging them with different rates that we have. It's including everyone. So it doesn't matter if you speak a different language. You have the will. You can just be part of of blockchain.
Wow. And how do you think the blockchain now affecting Mexico's economy? Is it something you think that the government will adapt to it, or this is a far long project yet?
Well, I'm not entitled to talk about politics, but now that you asked it,
Well, not politics, but just curious. I mean, if it's something gonna be involved in the economy of the country, and is it something that gonna
well,
come later, or the government working on advancing and bringing it?
well, the current government is not willing to adopt new technologies.
Got
So
it.
they just stopping everything because that's the way they do. They work, and the people is accepting that, and which I'm not going to discuss that. But in that year, while the government was attacking the INE, which is the Institute of National Elections in Mexico, I
Yeah.
just contact them and ask them to why don't you just develop a blockchain solution for you for voting. We in those days we have just last year we have already launched the blockchain the BMM voting supplement, and we offer them to them. I offer them to them. They accept it. It was quite like by luck. It was by chance that I just bumped this outside of the INE offices with with the president and the director. And then I was discussing with the policeman. The policeman, I want to be in because I need to talk with this about blockchain. Just
Wow.
imagine me trying to explain an official about blockchain, and I have on the back of me there's the person on
So
on
you
the
want to speak to? Yeah.
so they just I understood. Can you just go in and just came in? They invite me to be part of a meeting, and we start
Uh-huh.
just training everyone, and they finally got convinced they need to develop a blockchain solution, and they ask for help. Say I don't
Uh-huh.
want to be part of because we have blockchain solutions running on regarding to voting, so we can guide you to do the international licitation. So we send them the information, the requirements that they're included in the VMM. They adopted it and they launched an international licitation last year. And at the end, for the elections that were held 2, 3 months ago in June, they pick a blockchain solution for the Mexicans living abroad.
Mm.
And it happens that when they asked me, "Can you give us names?" I said, Just go to the UN IGF BAS website, which is the UN International Governance Forum and the Blockchain Assurance and Standardization Group in the UN, where
Yeah.
there's are trusted solutions, and they found two. They invite them and one and with all the different participants in the world, and I believe that there were 7 or 10, and
Hmm.
one of them won, which is one of the ones that we
Wow.
have reassessed last year,
Interesting.
and it was a
Um,
success.
and you're still with them, right? Correct?
Well, I'm just offering them to give a follow up because in 3 years there are going to be the midterm elections. So we have to do something. But as the government is changing for the new officials, we have to wait at least until
S-
December.
Yes. So for now, blockchain is not really active in Mexico. No.
Well, for the government, not that much, but for the companies, there are so much companies though developing blockchain solutions. It doesn't matter if they're banking, retailing, or distribution. There are lots of solutions being done, even insurance companies. So the main focus is to go with them
Wow.
and offers them our support, because I don't sell anything. I give them support. So once they have a solicitation, we can just invite them. I'm invite our members of companies in the world with trusted solutions to participate in that.
You also worked with the Global Academy of Law
Yes,
Tech.
yes,
Yes.
Galter. Yeah, Galter in India. Also trying to find out a way in which we can just convince the Supreme Court judges and the lawyers what blockchain is and how they need to understand that to develop
Uh-huh.
laws. So
Hmm. Hmm.
I started just searching again and find out Dr. Bandari in India, and they have a Galter, which is an association of maybe 150 specialized lawyers in disruptive technologies. So they know exactly what I'm talking
Hmm.
about.
Hmm.
So when you start talking about blockchain and property rights and all that issues, they understand that and they're investigating, researching on that. So I just partnered with them to develop a knowledge in the Latin America region first, and then it comes time that we have nothing but fintech, and after the FTX issue, we said we need guidance. So that's when FAB comes in. It's a fintech and blockchain association, also from India, of Dr. Sindhu
Hmm.
Bhaskar, and I just be part of them and become part of them and say, well, are we going to represent them here, and also how are we going to legally represent GBA? So that's when we built Highland Technologies last
Hmm.
year. So Highland Technologies is the one that signs agreements with universities and with companies and associations so that GBA can get in and sell legally, for example, the courses and the
Hmm.
training. And
Interesting.
Highland then become a BAA, which is a BMM assessment associate, which is we develop a group of 15 members, which are already trained and certified as BMM consultants that know how to assess a solution. and give guidance to the companies.
What's next for Alejandro?
Well,
I mean,
we have two more things in our side. First is that we need to strengthen the scope of the BAAs of Highline.
mhm,
Now, as GBA only has two BAAs, one is in Bahrain, which is a blockchain,
mhm,
and Highline in America. We have by chance a client that lives in has his operations in Mexico,
mhm,
in Guadalajara, Monterrey, and is developing a utility token solution, blockchain solution, but he wants to use it in Dubai, just because Dubai has so many new opportunities and facilities just to develop the hub, blockchain hub there. So he wants
mhm.
to migrate all the solution to that to Dubai.
Yeah, Dubai, United Arab Emirates, UAE is very heavily involved in pushing for that. Absolutely, yes,
And they want
yes.
GBA to assess the solution. So
Oh, really?
one part is going to be done in Mexico, another part is going to be done in Dubai by
So, do I see Alejandro now gonna transform and spend some time there to kind of enroll what you developed in Mexico and integrate it also for them, help them to integrate it and educate everybody on it so they'll be able to operate it themselves?
the is that we develop pilots in Latin America, and once they work, they're successful. We can just export them to other regions.
Yes.
The other ones are Africa and in my scope and Asia.
Hmm. Interesting.
So
Um,
we need more time to explain that the strategy, but that's the main idea. And also, as I was part of Pricewaterhouse so many years ago, and I say, what if we transform the GBA into GB International with the BAAs
yes.
by country, so we can just cover the country with the whole world with the standards and with a unique culture and philosophy
Hmm.
and ethics.
Yes, ethics, very important.
So,
Alejandro, how do you balance your different roles and you stay on top of things? I mean, obviously you're busy. Every time you get away from it, another opportunity comes across your way. I don't know if it's luck or timing, or you just you did the right things in life that your path gonna take you. You know what they say sometimes, you do the right thing, things will fall into your lap later on. I don't believe in anything falling in your lap, but in your case it is. But again, you put in the work, the education, the knowledge, but
well,
you took the right path and everything folded in.
well, that maybe the opportunities come by chance,
Yes.
but once you have them, you grab them, you start planning. And
Yes.
I'm not the only one. I'm behind me there. I mean, I'm the ugly face that has the opportunity of spreading the word. But behind me, there's a group of 15, at least 15 people that are working. We are working together, and just to plan things and develop things and make things better. Because now we're planning, for example, to develop a waste management blockchain solution, and we
Hmm.
are also into the voting. We want to develop a voting solution.
Interesting.
And now,
Um,
the-
no, no, please.
and and now that I know what the voting laws work in the states and now in
Yeah, the
Mexico,
voting laws. Yes.
I can tell you that the voting laws in Mexico are more complex and
Wow.
structured than the ones in the U.S.
Hmm.
So we want to develop a pilot to comply with the legalities of Mexico, with the requirements, meet the requirements, and just develop a blockchain solution, an integral part from the testing part to the training and identity cards and all and the vote process.
Hmm.
It's good.
Alejandro, looking back at your journey, which I'll have to say, I didn't think that's conversation going to pivot this way, and I'm extremely happy that actually we had you on the show because your story is extremely, um, I wouldn't say atypical, but the entrepreneurial path, and it's as the show entrepreneurs in tech, and you just didn't take it from tech. You went from tech, finance, banking, to selling physical product that manufactured, and then just took kept taking different paths all the time to the entertainment business, from entertainment. But it seems like towards, I wouldn't say the end of your journey, but somehow you went back again to finance and technology by working with blockchain and working with the, GBA and all of that. What advice do you have for other young entrepreneurs, whether they are in Mexico or whether they're in the States or anywhere in the world? They're going to watch this episode at Entrepreneurs in Tech and say, you know what? Wow, what an interesting journey. What a great guy, very down to earth. And look at him, look at the path he took, and it's always a success. I want to take the same path. What advice do you have?
Well, you need to you need to have your antennas out, and when there's an opportunity, you have to grab them. You have to grab it, analyze it, and if it's for you, just absorb it and start planning and research. I mean, doing a lot of research because it's not easy. It's not a 1 week plan that you can just. I have my business plan, and now that you want technology, just absorb the new technologies and just be let them be part of you and work as crazy as much as you can, and please don't spend every dime you get in. The just reinvest and reinvest and reinvest. That's my philosophy. Just
Can can you break down, not to interrupt you, can you break down the part where you say for our viewers and listeners that are entrepreneurs in tech, when you say keep your antennas up?
you have to be aware of all the opportunities that are just approaching to you because I mean it happens to me that I'm driving and I can see this is an opportunity, this is an opportunity, this is an opportunity, but I just close that just to forget about all those. But you have whenever you go, there are lots of
Hmm.
opportunities for you. It all depends what you want,
True.
but you have
Very
to
true.
analyze them and have some research and find that this opportunity that comes is the right for you. If not, just leave it alone. But you have the knowledge. The most important thing that you just keep on the back of your mind ideas, but the knowledge here and here.
Yes. Interesting. Um, well, I mean, I have to say, it's been gracious. I'm honored to have you on the show. I'm glad. Alejandro, it's been great, extremely inspiring and motivating, and very informative. I want to thank you for joining us today at Innovate Presents Entrepreneurs in Tech. Be sure to follow us and to connect with us on social media. Until next time, keep innovating, stay curious, and think out of the box. Take care.
Okay, thank you for having me, Bob. And if anyone needs help, just contact me and I will help you.
Absolutely. How people can get a hold of you, Alejandro? Through
So
LinkedIn or anywhere?
it's LinkedIn and in my email I can just send it to you and you can use Ale is ale.mandujano. It's ale.mandujano and at gbaglobal.org or LinkedIn. I'm open to
LinkedIn
help.
is the fastest, easiest. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Alejandro,
I'm
it's been a pleasure, my friend.
well, it's a great having you. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Really appreciate it and hope this is not the last one.
If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to share Innovate Presents Entrepreneurs in Tech podcast. And if you're joining us on YouTube, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Until next time.